Hello, everyone. Most welcome to our new session of Reflections PMOfficer and Friends. Thank you very much for joining us in a new session. Yes, every week we have a wonderful colleagues of our PMO and project management professional. And I'm very happy because we are going to share with Yui Perugino. Is well said, Yui? Is well said?
It's Joey Perugino.
Italian. Oh, sorry, Joy Perugino. Okie
That's
dokie.
okay. Not a problem.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Remember that this is an informal session. Yeah, we are
Absolutely. We're
colleagues
between friends.
between friends. That exactly that's the point.
I think
Between
the topic
friends.
of your new seminars or little get-togethers, the meetups that you do is appropriate because really, I mean, we're here to talk about project management and the things that matter to us and things like that. But it's more of a conversation that we have between the two of us, so it's okay. Now,
Exactly.
officially, my name is Joey. If you want to say Giuseppe, also that's okay. But I think Joey is probably easier. Perugino.
Well, right here, maybe for us is here. Giuseppe, because we are a Latin language, and Giuseppe in Catalan, Joseph, but Jui is
It's
well,
English, yes.
it's English, yes. And so well, maybe for me because remember I'm Mexican. I'm trying to speak English. Sorry if I'm not speaking correctly.
You're doing it great.
Apologize, please. But I'm trying to do my best. But the best point is because today you are with us, sharing. That's the most important. No,
And I'm very happy to be able to be here with you today.
no, thank you very much, my friend. And we are so happy because we are going to listen for all our audience. Yui is in Canada, no, in Quebec, Canada, the French part of the beautiful country of Canada. I was living there in Toronto a long time ago, but I was there. I know this wonderful, beautiful part of Canada, Quebec, Montreal, and Ottawa, and other wonderful places. But it's very important to hear to know what kind of which is the situation, or at least which is the point of view from other colleagues around the globe. So in Canada is maybe we are going to listen to today. We are going to learn how is the point of view about our these 5 questions, our point of view related about project management and PMOs. So it's very important to hear people from the other side of the Atlantic, no, that Atlantic Ocean.
Yep. And I mean, the same thing for us. I mean, the PMO community, I guess, is worldwide. And I think that we have so much to learn from one another. And just being able to exchange like this is a great way to put yourself in the context of others and understand what are the realities of the rest of the world. How is project management done and things like that in other parts of the world. A lot of it is probably very similar because they're basic principles that we apply. But there's always cultural adaptations that we do to the markets and the way that we go about delivering projects.
Exactly. That's why it's a wonderful our profession, because we are learning every time, every day, because it's very different to work in Europe and in America, Latin America, Asia. It's very different. And if you let me put a focus or assume, it's very different when you're working with people from the north of each country versus the south of the country, because it's a different point of view, a different way of mind. That's why this is wonderful. Yeah, remember, language, culture, religion itself. Why? Because when we are managed a PMO or a program portfolio project management or product management um, in a huge company, a huge organization, we are exchanging every day communication and very a lot of things. So for parentheses, in my case, for example, right now I'm working with the part of Africa, no, Egypt, for example. That this is very difficult because it's a different way of mind, different way of work. Ramadan, we need to respect these kind of things, no, with other cultures and the language, Arabian versus Spanish versus English versus okay, another language in Catalan. Remember, in Catalonia, Barcelona, we speak Catalan. It's another language. So this is a mix of wonderful things, and everything together, I think it is better for our civilization. Is my point of view. So
I think Leo, one of the things when I was in university, I I I majored in international business, and the concept of being able to understand the differences between different countries. I remember there was something called the Hofstede dimensions, which talked about the cultural differences, the cultural dimensions between different countries and things of the sort, the perception of time, the value of working together, collaboration, working more on their own, things like that. Um, at the time I was taking the course, I thought it was interesting. But now that I'm a project manager and I lead projects sometimes with resources that are from all around the world, and we need to find a way for all of them to work together, uh, I think a lot of those things become very, very important. And I guess understanding those dimensions and things of the sort are key to being able to be a good project.
absolutely, I fully agree. In my case, I'm better person with my profession. As much as possible, I'm sharing with so diversity, so many people around the globe in other cultures, and even seniors or young people, no, women and men. For me, it's wonderful. I feel a better person in this case, sharing with all the diversity in my profession. I'm so
Mhm.
happy for that. I fully agree.
It's a privilege, to be able to discuss
Absolutely.
with all those people. We're fortunate.
Yes, yes. That's why we are trying to share in a in a collaboration point of view. Okay, we have a pillar that we call it in PMOfficers. Not that how can apologize audience. How can we call it in English? Intelligence collaboration, sharing the knowledge
Knowledge
by
sharing.
exactly. Thank you. Exactly. That is the point. That's why we are doing these kind of things, and that's why a wonderful, very great professional as Jui Perugino is coming with us for sharing. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. So, if you agree, we are starting to for the first question.
So, first of all, I think any large organization or even small organizations, a PMO can really play a critical role, and they should definitely be a PMO. Let's start with that. I really believe in the value of a PMO, and the simple reason is, like most of the stuff that we try to do in large organizations and things of the sort, anything that's IT related, that's a project, is usually very complex. And the PMO, in a sense, helps, I guess, remove blockers, helps organizations have the proper tools in order to be able to face the challenges of delivering those projects, meeting those objectives of being able to deliver on time, on budget, within scope. There was a study that was done that was done during many, many years, Leo. You probably heard about it, Chaos Report, where they talk about the fact that no matter what we do, and despite all the knowledge that we have on how difficult it is to deliver projects, many, many, many organizations, most organizations still have a lot of problems delivering projects on time, on budget, within scope. It's a very, very big challenge. So the PMO plays a key role, and really being the champion that's there to help organizations deliver more efficiently. And they're the project manager's best friend, because they're really the only representatives that are there to help bring up the problems that they have, and maybe remove, escalate, and do what's required in order to help them do the work that needs to be done for them to deliver the project successfully.
Absolutely. And we must consider that we are in agile environment, so we need to deliver a product is double or triple difficult as a project, no, versus project, because when we have a project, most probably we have a scope, a budget, no, a time, no, a planning, no, very,
Yeah,
very closet planning
you're touching on a very
base.
interesting point, because PMOs do also have a very important role to play in organizations today, where they're trying to instill, I guess, or incorporate certain agile principles in the manner in which we deliver projects. You have DevOps, and you have all kinds of different things that are thrown into the play. And being able to manage all of those things is complicated, because sometimes you have management that's used to receiving information in a very specific way. They want milestones and things that are done in a timely manner and things like that. And the agile model doesn't always fit that framework. It doesn't really. So you need to be able to adapt and change. And I guess the PMO can play a role in helping organizations better understand, I guess, the changes that it needs to play that need to take place in the manner in which projects are reported, manner in which projects are executed. You don't know from the onset exactly what you're going to do. You have an idea of what you're going to be delivering, because it's agile. Sometimes you discover as you go along, and you can change your mind, you reprioritize activities or initiatives. When you are at sprint 5, you can decide that whatever you had determined at sprint 1, it wasn't necessarily correct, and you can give the project a new direction based on something new that came in the market, and the management wants to adapt or change, and you can do so. In a traditional, more waterfall framework, you wouldn't have been able to do so. And sometimes that's one of the reasons why it's interesting for organizations to consider introducing agility. However, there's a lot of things that come with that, because, with projects, there's a lot of things such as not projects, budgets that are assigned that have to be spent within a certain amount of time, and a lot of things that need to put into consideration. The project manager definitely needs to have a PMO or someone with a very, very strong understanding of the way projects are delivered, in order to be able to help pave the way and make sure that the project or the semblance of something can be delivered, something concrete that the business can use once the project is finished.
Absolutely, I agree, because it's a huge challenge for the PMO, because it's very different to manage projects that manage products.
So I think, communication, first of all, is very, very important. I think a PMO member, a PMO manager, a project manager needs to have, I guess, a very, very high level of emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
because he has to deal with change constantly. He has to deal with ambiguity. He has to deal with a lot of the things that have to do with, being able to deliver things in an environment where all the variables are not known, and you know that something will happen. You just don't know when it will or what exactly will. But there's always something that happens in projects. If it wouldn't be the case, there would be no need for PMOs and no need for project managers. So the
Absolutely.
reality is, like I said, projects are difficult. Because of that, you need to have courage. Very important to have courage when you're a project manager or a PMO manager. You need to have a strong understanding of, I guess, at least the foundations of project management, classic waterfall, agile principles. It's important to understand all those different things, even though you're not an expert of anything.
No,
But you need to understand. You need to understand what the project life cycle is, what the life cycle of software development is, and things of the sort. And sometimes every project is different. Every project is unique. You need to know which tool you're going to take out of your hat, be able to deliver this project successfully. Sometimes you'll borrow from one methodology, sometimes you'll borrow from another. I think in the all projects are hybrid. There's nothing that's pure anymore. There's no classic waterfall. There's no classic ability. All hybrid, and that's okay. That's why it's important to understand a little bit of everything. That's what makes our job interesting too. Because we know that there's always going to be something new that's coming up. You need to be able to embrace it, understand it, learn it, adapt, and move forward. So these are the very, very important skills for a PMO member to have.
absolutely. I fully agree that I think we take on count that we're in constantly evolution. We are in constantly change situations every day, every time, every place. But in every organization, every market, every industry, no, because we are in very difficult times that in constantly evolution in changing every day. That's why we need to take this kind of skills that you have mentioned, several things, very 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 interesting things. But I'm fully agree with you in the communication, because into a PMO we need to communicate all levels, no, in top down or up down, and cross internally in the organization and externally with other organizations, other tier suppliers, or maybe customers, perhaps, because we are managing change management in every project and every product. And at the same, it's very difficult and it's very different to manage as well projects and products, because it's not the same one. No, it's not the same one. And finally, in a PMO, we need to present to top management how can we manage the project and product, because we can. Yes, you said that in hybrid no environments, yeah, but what can, my point of view, many people, most of people is calling project hybrid projects. Yes, I'm agree, but almost no one is mentioned product hybrid management. When you are managing products, you are managing projects itself. And that's why we are calling a product hybrid. And no one is mentioning that. I never
A very good
listen,
mention. You're right.
I'm listening nothing like this. And in my case, currently, I'm managing a program product management hybrid situation because I'm managing several products and projects itself all together. But the main focus in in my client is product management. And I
Yeah.
never am listening like that. It's very difficult.
I know one of the projects that I'm leading. I'm leading a team that's also responsible for a product. We need to. There's a project to upgrade or migrate to I guess, a more recent version of an application, but at the same time, we have to support the evolution of the product, and it's the same team
Absolutely.
that's doing both things. How do
Absolutely.
they put their hat and going to the other and think of the that's
Yeah,
something that will always require a lot of I guess a lot of agility. You need to be able to balance both. You need to have a close relationship with the client, close relationship with the product managers. It's challenging.
product managers. When you need to talk with technical guys, we need to talk to top management, no? Because you
Yeah,
need to talk
absolutely. Because
in
sometimes
some.
they're the ones that are bringing these things. I want this thing now, but I'm delivering a project. Yes, but I want this thing now. You do need to do this change right away, and it's going to impact your budget, your timeline, your things. But that's how it is.
Exactly, but by the other hand, the technical guys say, "Hey, we cannot do something like this so fast because we are going to impact with another projects.
That is my
Project
reality
one,
of
two, two."
every day, Leo.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
it's what we
absolutely.
do.
Exactly. But the top management, they never put attention about this. They never pay attention about it. Almost. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
apologize. They almost never listen the technical guys. That's why it's so important the PMO because the PMO needs to be able to send, no, to pay the flags. Hey, wait a minute, cowboy, wait a minute. You are requiring a very difficult thing that we are going to impact several projects and products as well at the same time. So wait a minute. Let's let's talk. Let's check which is your new requirement, your versus the impact with the entire portfolio or program management, depending on the product management, depending. That's why the PMO is important. Say, hey, okay, I'm
Yeah,
agree. We agree, but take on count this. We need to
that's it.
put
I mean,
understand the
essentially, that's
risks.
part of the role of the PMO manager of the he needs to
PM
be,
officer.
the PM officer. He needs to kind of be the interface between management and the resources. He needs to know how he can talk to both. That is something that takes a lot of experience. Honestly, it's not everyone that can do that, Leo. You need to understand the players well, um, but he needs to be able to. He's kind of the champion of the PMO. He helps share the vision to all levels of the organization, and he needs to make sure that the messages that are being brought from the resources that are at the project level that are at their hands in the doing the things are heard. So it's not an easy position, but
No.
as far as I'm concerned, it's part of the role. He has if he's a good PMO manager, if he's a good director of program or portfolios, he can play between the two worlds, and he knows how to talk to both of them, but he needs to listen constantly. So it's an interesting role to have.
For me, it's the most important and the most difficult roles nowadays because this role needs to be able so many things at the same time. It's not only soft skills, communication, resilience, empowerment. No. Technical skills as well because you need to talk with so many technical groups or so many technical teams at the same time. If you need to check third suppliers, no, or third parties because you are presenting a new project and they are presenting his offers and technical documents. That you don't need to be an
Mhm.
expert, but you need to be the enough experience about technical things, technical issues, to understand correctly what about what we're talking about this situation. First of all, and second, when someone is presenting a business case to open no a new project and product, they say, hey, this is not correct because you are mentioning so many things that is unreal. This is not real what you're saying, because you are saying that in a very short period of time to deliver with so these kind of technologies. Many of these technologies are obsolete because we are thinking about a new technologies. Remember, for all our audience, we are using blockchain, cloud, Internet of Things, intelligence, no, artificial EA, no, with
That's why I
another
was
things.
saying before, sometimes it takes courage because you need to be able to say,
Yes.
no, you're not doing it right. Think
Ooh.
of this. This is not always easy.
No, 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 no. That's why for me, sorry for to say that, that for me is most important this kind of roles versus the other roles that the CIO. Sorry, because sorry, yeah, I'm gonna say something. I don't want to. Ah, okay. My point is, Chief Information Officer, from my point of view, is almost obsolete because we are only talking about technical systems and strategy. And currently, with new technologies, Chief Technical Officer is most important with the PM officer role or similar role, because 99.99% of organizations around the globe have a portfolio, projects or products. It doesn't matter the percentage. They all the organizations all over the world have a portfolio of project and product as well.
Yeah, and usually to be a CTO, you need to be very strong technically.
You need it. You need a CTO. Yes or yes, but as chief information officer, not all the time.
Mhm.
Perhaps you don't need it because you can buy the services for external companies for your kind of projects and products.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened often that I need. I have my team that comes up with a proposition, and then the CTO will look at it and say, no, this is that." But that's good. He can challenge the, I guess, what we're trying to do and say, "Have you thought of this? This doesn't make sense. Maybe you should do that." It's a very critical role.
Absolutely. We can call it PM officer, direct PMO director, lead PMO, head PMO. It doesn't matter the title, but it's very important to have it into the radar in every organization.
Mhm. So that's it. Like I said, he needs to really understand the organization well. He needs to understand the culture well. Needs to understand the technology. He needs to understand the the players, the role of the project manager, the role of he needs to understand politically how the organization works also in order to be able to know how he needs to, I guess, prepare his message so that it will be accepted. I mean, how many times have you prepared documents, Leo, that you needed to present that I mean, they reviewed, they said, no, don't say it like this, say it like that, present it like this. No, no, don't say this sentence, they use this sentence instead. Part of that, of knowing what to say in order to be able to move forward, I think is very, very important. So, yeah, it's a very important role. That's for sure.
You have mentioned it, the exactly things that is happening in Spain. Hey, we are going to present information. No, no, no. Put quit this information. No, don't put in a rack matrix. Don't put it red. Put it in yellow, because we don't want to make a noise. Top management, because they're going to put nervous. No, but we are transparent. We need to share transparent information. We cannot to say, I don't want to say the word lies, but it's not exactly the truth. No. I think I think the PMO or this role and the complete team should be completely transparent about
Yeah,
everything. The big difference is what kind of information you are going to present or you are going to share, depending the key roles or depending the categorization of the stakeholders. If you are going to present information, the top management is an no, is in a pack, a special
it's
pack,
more
no, a
concise.
special
You have to be
deck.
more to the point. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
you
This
don't
kind of
have a lot
things.
of time. You need to be really use the right words to be able to convey what you want to say, so
Very
that
concrete, very
they
short.
know which actions they need to take in order to help you. Also,
Yeah, but never hide information.
no,
Present, present everyone, but never hide it. Yes, we need to be very sure, very conscious that we are going to present is the same information for everyone, depending the key roles or depending uh, the structure, no, of the communication plan, okay, for sharing the information. But that's
that's
it.
it.
That's the only point. That's it. But never saying a lie or never hide information. It's very dangerous from my point of view. I always trying to avoid these kind of things. And currently, um, uh, in my product program management office I'm trying to lead, I'm talking with top management about this. No, yeah, we need to show all information. Just we are going to take care what kind and how much information we are going to share, but never lie or never hide the information. So, um, the question number 4, Joy.
I think it's
Hmm.
a very important question, and as far as I'm concerned, because we talked about the fact that the PMO director plays a very important role. So, in my opinion, he needs to report directly to the CTO, okay, or to someone at the executive director level of the organization. Um, he needs to have a seat at the table so that he can hear, he has the ear of senior management, for him to be able to play his role efficiently. He needs to play, he's the interface between the people that are delivering the projects and management. He needs to be able to understand the alignment or the things that management is doing, where they want to go, and he needs to be able to also understand the reality of what's happening on the field and kind of make sure that the two are always in alignment. Which project should you do? What activity should we prioritize? The PMO director should be able to play a role in that, and he should be able to be in a position where he's respected and he's trusted by both parties.
This is the key word: respect. In a respect role in top management as well, and the other business in the other categories. I call it in 3 levels: top management, no, tactical, and operational. Tactical, when we are sharing with other project managers, program managers, product managers, digital product managers, innovation managers, no, this kind of slice, no, of roles. But later, downstairs, with technical roles or technical teams, with scrum Scrum Masters, development teams, technical system owners. When we are talking about databases, operating systems, infrastructures, telecommunications, not this part of the company, this that is very, very important, because at the end they are who really do the job, the hard job. No, because it's very easy for us, no, to say, hey, dude, we need to apply or to implement this planning with so many tasks, with so many phases. Yeah, yeah, it's very easy to put in on paper, but the execution, that this is the real, the real one, that between success and failure, the
Yeah,
execution.
absolutely. That's where the challenge is, execution.
And PMO, or any kind of role, sorry, or any kind of office, should help them a correctly execution from a manage the best as possible, and to communicate, to integration between all the parts, all the key stakeholders, all the teams, internal, externals, all the business unit, all the stakeholders in the three. From our point of view, in top management, middle management is a tactical, no, so top management is strategic, tactical, top middle management, and technical is operational.
Mhm.
So many things to to manage. That's
Yeah,
why it's
I hope
very
we're not going to discourage people from wanting to become PMO officers by what we're talking about. It's not an easy job, but I mean, it's a challenging job. At the end of the day, I think you finish your day and you're like, hey, I got it done today. I mean, it was hard,
absolutely.
but I succeeded in getting people to come together, understand. We delivered these things, we resolved these issues. It's worthwhile. So
Absolutely.
that being said, the world of projects, is a world that is full of vulnerability, uncertainty, ambiguity, uh, adaptation. There are things that are always ambiguity. There are things that are always in change. These are constant variables that we have to deal with all of the time. And it's one of the reasons why a PMO kind of plays a key role in being able to help, I guess, first of all, the project managers have the right tools to be able to recognize and capture these elements when they present themselves in projects, because you know that they will, and help them put together mechanisms that permit them to be able to escalate these risks, mitigate them.
For example,
I mean, so you need to have, you need to be able to, when you identify a risk, you need to be able to find measures or what can be done in order to be able to mitigate the impacts of whatever this reality happening. We talked about transparency before. I believe a lot in transparency. Like if something is red, you should say that it's red, but you should always have a plan. How are you going to bring it back to green? That is a challenge. Saying something is red is easy, but what are you going to do about it? So that's where the PMO, I guess, can help play a very big role, because they'll help the project manager look at any given situation and say, okay, well, based on this, what do you think we can do? We can do this. We can do that. We can take this measure. We can do a change request. There's an infinity of things that can be done. Behind every problem, there's a solution, but sometimes project managers can be a little bit overwhelmed. And that's where the PMO can play a key role in helping them, put together a strategy to be able to move forward on the projects and be able to deliver the project. So
yes,
key.
absolutely, yes. And adding value, adding always, all the time. We should add value to the organization. That it, from my point of view, I think we can add value in two paths or in two ways. We were talking about money because we are delivering better projects. So this is a less waste of money for the company. But by the other hand, when all the teams are working better and are working more happy than usual, they feel comfortable with the governance, with all the new methods or the new strategy from a PMO internally, obviously, with a better communication plan, with a better project, a better risk management plan from PMO. It's not only a project, it's not a product. We are talking about globally, okay, in a portfolio or a program, okay, because it's very different to manage one project where a small group of projects, five for each role, PMO project manager, 5 or 10, that when you are managing 100, 500, or 1,000, or more than 1,000, is completely different. Believe me, it's so difficult to manage, but it's wonderful when it's like a machinery, is everything working together like a Switzerland watch. Perfect. It's perfect because everybody's happy. Everybody is feel isn't a personal empowerment, but it's in a team empowerment. Is everybody's happy when you are arriving to the office, or when you are arriving at a meeting, or you need to do it in a window of intervention, in a window of ¿cómo se dice intervención?
Intervention window. You have a small window of time to intervene.
Technical, no? Technical window of intervention. No,
I'm sorry, I can't help you. It's not, nothing is coming to mind, Leo, but I understand what you're talking about.
I don't remember.
You have a small
Apologies,
time
all the
frame to be
audience.
able to do your intervention. Yes.
It's very complicated, but at the end, when you finish, when you to deliver any project and product
It's a very great
successfully,
satisfaction.
it's wonderful. It's a personal and into a group satisfaction, unbelievable.
Things, well, I think PMOs are here to stay. PMOs in reality, Leo, they started about 20, 25 years ago, the late 1990s, when all of this technology started to play a bigger role in large organizations. And as a result, I mean, there's been a lot of studies that have been made on do they bring value? Is there a need for PMOs and things of the sort? I think, as far as I'm concerned, there will always be a need of PMOs. The world of technology is very, very complex, as I stated earlier. And the PMO is really the only unit that's there to really defend them and help the project managers do what they do. And also organizations, realize projects or things that are aligned with the strategy that are going to permit them to be able to reach their goals. Ensure their survival, because it's a very, very competitive world nowadays. So you really need to do it right. And how do you do it? You need to have resources and tools that can help you go about delivering the projects and doing everything that you do. And the PMO is just one of those players, but it's a very important player. And if you're going to be trying to do that, the PMO has to focus not just on processes, but they have to build relationships. And they have to build communities of practice within the organization. They need to make the project managers, or even the resources, the developer, the business, all those people are part of the solution. everybody has a part to play.
Absolutely. That's why I call it leadership between every one of us. It's not only one person should be a leader or should share or, yeah, should lead. No, every one of us should be a leader itself. And uh, all the things that we trying to do better is, for me, is a kind of leadership. No, because if you are doing the right things, people will see you, and most probably is going to do the same or maybe better than you are doing right now. This is a kind of leadership. That's why I wonderful these kind of things. You have mentioned it, community, no, of work.
Community
That's
of
correct.
practice. Yes.
Community of practice. This is the maybe, yeah, maybe from my point of view, this is the first stage or the first things in the bright
It's the first step.
environment. The first
Absolutely.
step in the next in our near future, very close and very near future. And why? Because we are going to pass from a very competitive situation to a collaboration situation. We are going to move forward the currently very competitive organizations, situations, and professions, move forward to collaboration, organizations, roles, everything in
And if we
our
talk
new
about
world.
community of practices, in reality, organizations, I think they should try to permit the give the space to the PMO officers, to the project managers, to the developers, the business analysts to get together and just exchange and talk about best practices, about how things can be improved and things like that. Sometimes a lot of great ideas can come up out of those simple conversations. And if management is smart, they can take some of those and bring them up and bring change and more efficient ways of doing things for the organization. It can help an organization, deliver projects better, and they do so simply by giving an opportunity for people to talk with one another, bringing them together, telling them, okay, let's just talk about what did we do, how can we do it better, what are we doing that's good, what are we doing that's bad, how can we go about embracing this change and things like that. And I think the PMO can play a key role in making those communities of practice take place. They can play a role in having them come together. They can play a role in taking the message that they bring forward up. So there's a lot that can be done there. In any case, Leo, this has been a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to talk with you. I love the fact that we could exchange on so many different topics. I know perhaps we took a little bit more time because we're so passionate about these topics and the discussions and stuff like that. But it was a great opportunity for me, and I really want to thank you for giving me the chance to talk with you about this. I hope that we get the chance to do so with more people in the future. But I mean, it's a topic that's always me. Life to me, life is a project. Everything we do, is about delivering a project in every single aspect of what we do. So, I welcome the opportunity to collaborate and contribute to this global community together. I want to say that you guys are doing an amazing job, and I've seen the PMO officer community grow so much in the last few years. I know you work tirelessly, you work very, very hard, and people don't often take the time to recognize it. So, well, Leo, thank you for everything that you do for us. It's really, really appreciated.
My dear friend, Joey, thank you very much for your kindly words. You are most welcome. We have an open door for all global community to for coming to share, because we believe that all together are better. We are trying to change that. Helping us each other is better than all just thinking. Help me first. we are we're changing the world. Maybe, well, everyone, we are trying to change the world. We are trying to do it better as much as possible, even in a very small part. But one of the key goals for PM Officer is sharing the knowledge, open the doors for all people coming to share and helping us each other. It doesn't matter um, where we are, no, in Europe, in Canada, or in America, in Asia, in if we talk, if we using the language English, Spanish, French, other kind of languages. We are trying to invite everyone, ladies, gentlemen, seniors, younger, no? We are trying to involve everyone, every time, everywhere. And for us, it's a huge pleasure, my dear Joey, my dear friend. Thank you very much for coming. I really having a very good time. But before to leave, we have a final reflection. Yeah, it's a wonderful session today. I really happy having a good time. I'm very convinced that our audience is enjoying as much or maybe better than us. So the final reflection, his PMO, their PMO.
So, how do you go about either redesigning or implementing a PMO and things of the sort? It's one of the most challenging things. You know that PMOs, I don't know what the statistics are today, but it wouldn't surprise me that it hasn't changed. 80% of PMOs don't survive more than 2 years, Leo. I mean, even though I believe very strongly in them, they have to find a way to demonstrate that they are bringing value, and in order for them to be able to do so, um, part of the focus is not on, shouldn't be on just going right away and implementing and using a tried and true formula, because every organization is different. So before you can go about doing anything, you have to observe and kind of do what you call an as-is assessment. Like, how are things being done right now in the organization? There were projects that were being led or delivered before. There will be projects delivered after. How are they doing it right now? What are their practices? You need to understand that before you can tell them how they should be doing things. Look at how they're doing things right now. You have to focus on building relationships. It's not about processes. It's about relationships more than anything else that the PMO officer needs to play. We talked about how it's important for him to be able to be a role where he has the trust of senior management, but also the trust of the project managers and the developers and everyone, that he thinks that he has their best interest at heart. So you can only do that if you focus on, or you put a lot of importance in building relationships. So it's relationships before processes. Then, in the designing of the PMO, you have to involve everyone in taking a hand, or playing a part in co-designing, I guess, the roadmap for what this future PMO is going to be. How is it going to bring value to the organization? You have to build the communities of practice, like I was saying. And based on the fact that the PMO is often short-lived. He needs to be able to demonstrate results quickly. So you make your first 100 days count. Try to find some tangible things that you can deliver, that you'll be able to show the organization that you can bring about change in a positive way. You can deliver value quickly. Look for some quick wins. That would be a way to define it. But these are the 5 things that I would focus on: build relationships, not processes; do an as-is assessment; co-design the PMO. Not just go from a roadmap that's already been done. Do it together with the business and all the stakeholders. Build communities of practice within the organization, and just try to deliver quick wins for first 100 days count, delivering value right away.
A huge challenge for a PMO in every organization. In any organization, is very difficult. But I fully agree, because I think it's very difficult when a PMO should deliver value. I think putting focus in services. No, okay, we are going to give a services that later you are going to receive benefits. No, this is a very beautiful relationship. It's very complicated to put on the table with the PMO, the sponsor of the PMO, and the rest of the top management, because they are going to pay for that. But during the period of time that the PMO should survive, you are very, very you have mentioned it, a very how can I explain, how can I say, very hard not to
Very
say,
short window. Yeah.
very hard to say that many PMOs don't survive in a very short period of time. Yeah, because they most probably they lost the focus to deliver value. No, and that's why we need to put on the table, no, and a strategy of a PMO year after year, because it's a better way. Don't lose the focus, adding value during the short, medium, and long term. In this case, is most probably the PMO not only can survive, evolve
I think
in
it's a
a better
question of having
maturity.
the right PMO mix. You got to have some short-term objectives, some midterm, some long-term objectives. You need to have a vision of where you want to go. On the short term, though, you need to always deliver value, and the functions or the things that you're going to be focusing on can change. And as a PMO, you have to revisit what are the things that I'm bringing to the organization that are delivering value. And right now the things that I need to focus on are these 5 things. In 6 months, it might be another 5 things.
Absolutely.
But you need to always check and see if am I bringing value to the organization or not. You can only do that if you have you work closely with senior management. That's why, as we were saying before, it really plays a critical role of being able to be the ear between the two worlds.
You need to adapt and visualize the situation before it happens, because you are going to react before everything. It is more easier to have under control everything, to keep going and to evolve, not only to survive, just evolve and be better, not only as a group of the team, just the team itself, and keep growing. Because if you survive, you are going to keep growing with more people, with more teams, with more responsibility, with more sponsorship, with many other wonderful things that any PMO, from our point of view, should have.
Absolutely.
Joey Perugino, Agile traditional PMO professional consultant from Quebec, Canada. My dear friend, thank you very much for this wonderful session. I'm really having a very good time. Thank you very much for your thoughts, for your reflections, for a point of view, and obviously for your experience. But thank you very much for your candy word for our PM officers community. Yes, we it's a very hard job, but someone have to do that. I will do
Yeah,
prefer
but
do
you're
it
doing it
myself.
well, Leo. You're doing it well.